This conference will now be recorded.
So, hello everyone, very good morning to all. In the last session, we discussed about the concept called how to pass the data, right? How to iterate the data, right? So we seen iterating the data using map method, right? Using map method in both the class component and functional component, right? So we have class component, we have functional component, both the way, right? We seen by using map method. So this concept is very, very important. Later we can talk about this more, about iterating data with some conditions. Later we will talk about how to use conditions before displaying the data. If this is okay, display something. If this is not okay, display something. Such a manner with the map method combination and all the conditions also we are going to see. Okay. The next concept is going to be important thing is going to be props. What is a prop? Simply says a prop is an object. Simply says a props or properties. Okay, generally this is the technical word React will use. 1 minute, let me go for props in React. Just I'm going for it, the word. Let us see when React sees an element responding. I mean, what they are going to see is children's the component as a single object. Actually, components and props are these people. The term prop refers the technical sharing code. Okay, I need the proper meaning actually. What is props in React? React allows to pass. Okay, but what is prop? But what is the use of prop they are telling? But I didn't see what is prop exactly. So props are arguments passed into React components. Props are passed to component via HTML attributes. Props stands for properties. Okay, so we can call properties also. But the major aim of the prop is, what is the major aim of the prop? Transferring the data from one component to other component. So for example, there is some data you have from the database. You want to send this data to server somewhere, I don't know, wherever you want to send, you have to send it, right? Okay, in this point of time, how we can send the data? The data which is in one component should be transferred to other component. How we can transfer the data? By using props only. So here there is a good point here. Simply a prop is an object, Andy, that's keep it in mind. So and we have next concept, state is also object, prop is also object. And what is an object? We know object is a collection of value pair combination, right? Key and value, this is what exactly an object now, right? We know very well what is an object here. Prop is an object which holds the information, right? Prop is an object which holds or contains the which holds the information which is going to be transferred. I won't write like this, which is going to transferred transferred from one component to other component, and this is what exactly the concept, one component to other component. So this is what exactly the major purpose of thing, and that is the prop is used. For example, you have you have app.js. In app.js you have some data. The data I want to transfer the from app.js to some other component. So how can we transfer, right? The question here now you can see. So that is the purpose of prop, and here props are arguments, arguments passed into React components. Okay, we can pass them as an argument to the React component. Props are passed to components via HTML attributes, and ఇది important. This is what important you have to understand. I got very good point there. Right now can we see this point? You can highlight this. How can we pass the data to somewhere, right? This is what exactly the concept of props. Okay, can you see? Props are passed to components via HTML attributes. You know HTML attributes normally, right? What is an HTML attribute? For example, if you can take a div, how can I provide an attribute? Class is an attribute, no? Class some value, and ID is equal to some value, title equal to something. So what is this class ID title? They are the attributes of div. So now if we can take input element for example, so this is an input element. So we have some attributes, na? Type is equal to something and ID equal to something, name equal to something, and class equal to something, and class equal to something, and we know all are the attributes, right? Please, these attributes are predefined, user defined. All these attributes are predefined by the HTML, right? Remember carefully. For example, if you can create a component, how we can load the component to app.js? Every component, once it is created, it should be loaded into app.js. App.js will render the component output. For example, you have loaded a welcome component. This is the component you loaded. Where you loaded? Let us assume you loaded in app.js. This is in app.js. Okay. In app.js component, we have some information. Const username is equal to, I'm taking some information, and this is the variable we have inside of the component, right? So this data you want to pass to this following component, and how can I pass this data to the following component? Can you see props are passed to a component via HTML attribute? So now you can see if you want to pass this, I'm going to pass an attribute name. My name is equal to, you have to use JSX expression, and you have to pass the variable name directly like this, Sunday. It's a variable now. Anywhere you want to use variable inside JSX, you have to use expression. So otherwise it cannot be, right? So what is the name of the, this is look like an a attribute, right? Key equal to some value. Can you see type is equal to something, and class is equal to something. Class is an attribute and some value. Here also my name is an attribute, and the value you pass it to it as a username. So here the name of the attribute could be anything. It is completely your choice. I taken my name. If you want, you can take somebody's name also, no problem. Now I will show you how can we pass the data from one component to other component. Let me show you. This is the thing. The major purpose of the component is here transferring the data from one component to other component. Sometimes, for example, I have sent a request in app.js. Let us assume I sent a request to server. Why? Because app.js is the first one which is going to be loaded, right? First component, right? After app.js loaded, then only other components will be loaded. In this point of time, in app.js, I sent a request to server. I sent a request to server. Then what is this exactly? You will get some data now. Once I got the data in app.js, I want to distribute this data to each and every of my component. Then what we will do? The only thing, props. By using props, we can distribute the data between the components. And simply, we can say one more word here. I written the thing like this now. So by using, you can write this, by using the props, we can distribute the data between the components. By using props, we can distribute the data between the components. You have data in app.js that I want to transfer the data to some other component. So this is what exactly the purpose of the props handy. Okay, so let us go to the action so we can understand. So this is the things we created: data, functional component, class, functional component we seen. Okay, let me close all these things. I'm closing everything. Let me do one thing. Okay, right, so these are the components we inserted into the app.js, right? Let me remove these also. Now I'm going to work on freshly. Let us see. Okay, this is our empty component. Even if we can run, I think what we can see, nothing, right? Localhost colon 3000, just we can see some message, welcome to React. This was in app.js only. So this was in app.js. Okay, great. So if you don't want anything here, yeah, you can remove that welcome message also. It's not a problem, right? So I removed this. If you want, you can remove this. Okay, that is also removed. Now if we can load, nothing was rendering, right? So I mean, this is an empty div we are rendering, so we don't have anything. Empty screen we got. Okay, do one thing. In the app.js, I'm having some data only. Okay, now see this exactly. I'm taking const username equal to, I'm taking some value here. You can take any value, no problem. Any variable you can take. Ultimate goal of this concept is here. We have data in app.js. how can we transfer this data to some other component? For example, let me do one thing. I'm going to create one component with the name, let us take some component with the name called test.js, or any name you can take it, no problem. Our goal is here how we can transfer the data from app.js to some other component, and that's what exactly we will see. Okay. Oh, this folder already exists, huh? Test component is already exists. So what we can take, let me take data.js, and it is my component data.js. Just this is the file I'm taking. Okay, whatever the file it may be, don't bother about it. Data. To this we have to pass some data from app.js. This is the component, right? This component may be a class component, this component may be a functional component, whatever it may be, don't worry. So okay, or else let me name this as data props, right? Data props.js is my file name. Okay, you can name it anything, no problem. So because when you are practicing by opening the file, you will get the clarity. So the data props.js, right? This is the file. You want to create a class component or you want to create a functional component, whatever it may be. I'm passing data. To whom you can pass the data, whatever the component it may. Remember, you may have this is the data you are having. You want to pass the data to functional component or you want to pass the data to class component, anyone it may be. Process is same only, right? So here every component, once it is created, we have to import here now. For example, you are going to import a component test only. In this test component, you want to pass something called my name equal to that username you want, whatever it may be. This test is a functional component, a class component, I don't know. But the way of sending data is common for both the components. It may be a functional component, it may be a class component, right? So let us go for data props. Let me create this as a functional component, right? RFC is the snippet I'm just using, right? Functional component is created, right? So here, how can I access this, Andy? I'm taking h1 tag, welcome to something. I don't have any username, right? Let me do one thing. I'm going to make it as a some welcome to, that's all. I'm not having anything. Just I'm going to take a small word like this, okay? I don't have username, that's why I'm taking like this. Are you getting any output? No. Once component created, we have to import, right? Let us go here, data props, hit enter. That is not imported, and if it is not imported, you should go here and you have to import it, right? So you can import, sometimes it will be imported immediately, sometimes it may not, right? Then we have to do data props and from data props.js, okay, right? Imported, perfect. Now you can check this, you are going to see some output, right? All right, welcome to the name. So actually name is available in app.js. That name we have to transfer to data props only, right? So now you can see whatever the name variable you are having, this is right. Now you can see. Now I'm going to pass the information. Now you can see. You can take any attribute here. My name equal to JSX. Just pass the variable name inside of it. That's all. So you sent it, Andy. So what is the meaning of it? The data was sent to data props component, but in the data props component, we have to access the data, right? I sent the data in app. When you are loading the component in app.js, I have sent some data to data props. So if you can send the data to data props, we have to access the there. What is the name of the what is the name of the attribute? My name, right? So now how can I access this? Remember, if you want to access props, so in this function parentheses, we have to use props only. This is the parameter you have to use. So I told you, right? Props is an object. If you have any doubt, you can see I'm writing console.log of props only. Just you can see in the console what is the output we can get it. Now I'm pressing F12. I told you prop is an object. Can you see there is an object printed in the console now? So this is an object printed in the console. Now you can just observe this. What is the object you are having? Can you see, Andy? The prop you sent, it's coming to you, it's coming to your component as an object, but you are sending the data to this component as a key value pair combination here. This is the key value pair combination, and the data just sent to data props as an object. That's why I told you prop is an object. Simply it's an object. Object is a key and value pair combination. Whatever the information we sent to this component, it is receiving as an object. Okay now, so if it is an object, right, just I see, you can see the output also. It is the my name props dot my name, and simply if you want to print in place of it Now you can see I'm going to do something. Now you can write simply props dot my name. This is what exactly how to take. But a props parameter should be passed, Randy. Otherwise, that won't work for you, right? If you can refresh, now you can see this is the component which is displaying to you is data props. But the data you are displaying, it is coming from app.js. Sometimes we need to do it. That is called reusability, right? You have data. This data should be transferred from one component to other component. Yes, absolutely. We will do like this, Sandy. What exactly the thing is going to be like this. That's why I printed this log statement also here, right? For example, you want to pass one more Andy. For example, now you can see what is I want to pass city equal to Hyderabad. So I'm going to pass my, this is the string. I'm not taking any variable, simply a string. If it is a variable, we can take JSX, right? Otherwise, if it is a simple string, we can take like this. Can you see now? City Hyderabad I passed, right? Now, how can I access this, Andy? Simply nothing. If we can print this console.log, just if we can refresh the page in the console, you can see there are two values will be there in the object. And what are the values we have? Can you check this? We have city and my name as an object, Andy. Now, what I want to do, props.city now, and from I'm writing props.city, but it should be JSX expression, right? So it is going to be an expression. Now you can check this from HYD, something like you are getting, right? Yes, exactly. The ultimate goal is here how we are transferring the data from one component to other component. You can see I'm going to create one more component. Sometimes the same data may require for some other component also. Let me do one thing. Data props 1.js. I'm writing one more file with a name called data props 1.js. One more component this is. For this component also, they need some data. Maybe this component may be a class component, right? That may be a functional component. Maybe I don't know, right? So here we seen this as a functional component. Let me create it as a class component. If it is a class component, how can we access it, right? Let me do one thing. RFCE, sorry, RCE, the shortcut command is RCE. Class component is created. Once class component is created, how can I pass the data to this component? How can I pass data to this component? Nothing, and the same. So this is, I just want to take from h1 tag open close class component. Let me write something, and here you can go, and this is going to be a functional component h1 tag. For our understanding purpose, I am writing, right? This is going to be functional component COMPONENT, functional component, right? Just refresh the page. Now you can see, Andy. So we are able to see functional component, okay now? But did you load the functional class component here? No, class component is not loaded. Let me go there. I'm going to take a paragraph tag open close. Let me write a line break here, something like this. Okay, here data props 1, right? It is not imported. If it is not imported, you have to import it from here. Import data props 1 from data props only. Yes, now if you can refresh the page, can you check this? I'm refreshing, and you can check this. You're able to see functional component, and you are able to see class component. Functional component able to see access the data, but you have to pass the data, right? Let me copy the same, and I'm passing the same data to this component also. Okay, you are passing. But names here is your choice, and completely here I taken my name na. You can take your name, you can take my city, whatever it may be. It is not going to be the same. The key, the attribute names of your choice completely, I'm saying you. For data props component, you are passing my name and city. For data props 1 component, I'm passing my name and my city. That's your choice completely, what you want to pass. Okay, right. Now you can save the file, and you can go to this component. What did you done here? You passed already the data to the data props 1 component. Here you have to access it now. But for the render method, you are expecting to process as the props. No, this is not works, guys. Here, this is the functional component. For the parent, this is the main component. To this main component, we will pass props as an argument. We will pass props as an argument. But here, not required, Andy. Nothing. You can just go here, console.log. I'm just showing you the data will available this dot props, Andy, directly. That's all. In a class component, We don't want to define anything. But this dot props, did you define anywhere props here in the component? No, remember this dot props is available in component parent class only. See, generally, inheritance. Actually, I want to access a variable called props. Actually, props is not available in this component. Did you declare anywhere, Andy? For example, what I want to tell you, you have some name, Andy. You have some name is equal to ram. How can we access this property into other component? Simply, you will come here, you will write this dot name now. This dot name, you will write it, right? But then what will be happen? This property was defined within the component, so it will be loaded. Now I'm writing something called this dot props only. Did you define this dot props variable anywhere like this? No, right? This props is equal to something you defined anywhere, hello or something like this you define anywhere? No, I didn't define. But if you didn't define, where it is defined? Remember, in inheritance process, if the variable is not available in the component, then automatically it will look into the parent component, right? So what I want to tell you finally, the props is defined in the parent component. So directly we can access this, Andy. So here we don't want to write this directly, console.log of this dot props. Just if we can refresh now, you can see this is in the class component, Andy. My name and my city. My name and my city. So this is my name and just a city. This is printed in the console, sorry, functional component. This is printed in the class component. The same information if you want to access here. So now you can check this. I'm going to write something, h1 tag open, h1 tag close. I'm writing welcome to, right, this dot props dot my name, and this is a way of accessing the data. And from this dot props dot my city, props dot my city, this is a way of accessing the data from one component into other component. Can you check this exactly? This is also printing the data, this is also printing the data. We passed the same data here to the component exactly. So but the keys of the attributes of your choice completely. The name of the attribute, my name and my city, is my choice. So you want to take any other? Yes, you can take any other also. It's not a problem at all, right? So this is how we pass the data to the component. Sometimes, see, I just pass the information like this, and sometimes you may need to pass an object also, right? We can pass an object also, Andy. Let us see. I want to create an object, const user equal to, I'm passing an object, Andy. I'm passing an object like this. Try to see. The object is going to be, let us take this as a first, first name, something like this. You can take last name, something like this. Okay, you can take anything. You can see, you are passing simply a string values here as a prop, right? We can pass an object, we can pass an array, we can pass array of objects also. Let us see how we can do this. Right now you can see first name and last name, and you can take some pin code here. Now you can check this pin code is going to be some value. I am going to take it. Okay, this is all done. So username, user, it's great. Now if you can refresh the page, now are you getting anything? Nothing, you didn't pass anything, right? So now let us go here. Now I'm going to use one more attribute called info equal to user, and info is an object. So or else you can take user info attribute, going to be user info is user, curly bracket should be closed here. In the same manner, I'm coming here, user info equal to user, and exactly this is what exactly we passed. For the both the components I passed. Sir, I want to pass user info to only one component. Yes, you can pass to only one component, no problem. But my intent is here, just I'm showing you, if you can pass an object to functional component, how to access. If I can pass an object to class component, how can we access? Let us go to the functional component. Already we seen the same object will become there. Props is an object now. Object will have again an object. Now can we see, if you can refresh the page, can you see, Andy? Now you can see this is an object. Now you can see this is an object, and city and header. User info is again an object. This dot user info dot first name, this dot user info dot last name, something like this you have to access now. Let us show you how can we access this. Let me take this as a h4. Now I'm going to take welcome to. Now you can write this, and the props dot user info is an object, and the user info dot again there is a first name. This is the way of accessing data. Check this carefully. If you can print the data in the console, you will always understand the things properly. right? So first, whatever the data you are getting, print in the console and check the output you are getting, so that it will be very clear. So while writing logics, it will help us how to build the logics by seeing the data, right? So, and from, I want to take this concatenation here. Now I'm going to take this as a props dot user info dot user info dot last name, and from, I'm writing like this, and from city. This is going to be props dot, sorry, pin code actually, right? uh, right, okay, directly you can write it, no problem. Props dot user info dot pin code, and exactly we can take like this. Okay, now this is all. You can see the information was printed like this, and why it is coming two times, remove this, one time is enough, right? Check this, all the information was like this. So this is an object information. Then if it is a class component, let us go to the class component. Now you send to the class component also. Let me take h4 tag open, h4 tag close. In this, I am writing welcome to this dot props dot user info dot first name. Can you see, Andy? User info dot first name, right? So there you can, don't get confused. This is all you should learn from starting onward. This dot props dot user info dot last name, and can you see this information also extra when this keyword is available in the class component? That's the only thing. Now you can see the same information, you are able to get it now. If you want to get the pin code also, now you can see I'm just going to write from this dot props dot this dot props dot user info dot pin code, right? This is going to be pin code, and just you can check this, all the information, what is that information you are going to see and all, right? So this is what exactly the thing, welcome to ram, and the from something. If it is a class component, how can we access? If it is a functional component, how can we access? So this is how the thing will be done, Andy, right? Okay, great. So we seen an array. Now I want to take some subjects, Andy. Let us see. I'm going to take const subjects it is subjects is equal to, I'm taking some subjects here, an array, html, css. This is going to be bootstrap. This is going to be what shall we take here? Bootstrap, javascript. This is going to be ajax, json, react. That's all, Andy. Up to here I taken. Okay, right. jQuery, if you want, you can take jQuery also. Yeah, exactly. This is the information I have. So you want to pass the same information to functional component. Now let us see. I'm passing this data to functional component. Already we passed so many props we can pass, Andy. I don't know, there is no restriction of sending props to one component to other component. I already passed the 3 props here. Now you can see username, city, and user info. I'm passing one more. There is no restriction. Subjects is equal to, I'm passing subjects, Andy. You can take same name as a key and value. Both are maybe same, maybe different, no problem. Here you take in city and value. Here my name equal to username. Here, but this time subjects equal to subjects. Variable name is same, and attribute also, attribute name is also same. This is not a problem. Now you can see I'm passing the same, this also subjects equal to subjects, and you can pass anything to it, no problem. Subjects is equal to subjects. That's a variable now. It's an array. Now you can see already we printed the information in the both components. Now you can refresh the page. You can see the data, and you can explore this data. Now you can see this is city and name. This is subjects array, right? Subjects array. This is user info object, only. Now you can check this. Subjects is an array. This is an array. So all the data went into functional component, as well as all the data went into class component. Below is the class component, above is the functional component. Always, Andy, when you are sending some data, if you have any confusion, first console.log the data in the console and try to check the format you got. So always it is important thing. Then only we can have an idea what exactly this is. Okay, right. Let me do one thing here. Now you sent the data to the functional component, right? I want to iterate this data. Try to see. I want to take a ul open, ul close. Okay. So in this ul, or else you can take h1 or h3. I'm taking this as a subjects list. I taken some heading. Now you have to iterate the data, Andy. So here I want to take a UL tag open, UL tag close. Inside of it, try to see what I'm going to do. You have to iterate it, Andy. Now you can see I'm taking the JSX expression. How can we iterate the data? Already we seen, right? Props dot subjects, Andy. Subjects dot map in this. So each and every item comma index na item comma index. Okay, this is what exactly here. Directly you can take li tag open, li tag close, and we don't want to do anything. Simply you can write this as an item, item, item. But remember, for every key, for every loop iteration, there should be one key. That is I'm taking as an index, and subjects are printed, right? Now you can see subjects are printed as a list item. As a list item, all the subjects are printed in the class. In the same logic, we have to this also. Now we are going to see in the class component, all the subjects are printed properly. Now I'm going to print into the same in the same logic, nothing difference, Andy. But the only thing you need to check it, I'm copying this to class component. But wherever you are having, now you can see only thing what you need to do in iteration process, just you need to use this keyword, Andy. Where is this props, right? Just write simply this dot props dot subjects dot map find item. That's all. Now you can check this is also printing the data. Now you can go and refresh the page. This is also printing the data. The only thing you need to understand, see, transferring data from one component to other component means it's always a string data. It's always a number. No, it may be a string, it may be an object, it may be a array of objects also, na, right? The same logic you can do. Yesterday we implemented, right, functional component and all. Now you can check this. We have some data. This data also we can pass, and let me go to app.js. In the app.js, I'm going to take this as a users list, and exactly this is what exactly the users list. If you want to pass the users list data, nothing, simply to this component I'm passing the data and the data props users list. I'm going to take the variable all small letters is equal to, you can take capital letters also, no problem. There is no case matching here, right? So users list is equal to users list, and what is the variable you are having? This is the variable you are having. Copy the variable and just pass the data to it, and users list I'll capital inside of it. You can take this. Now you pass it the data now. So this is an array of objects also we can pass. That is what you need to understand. Simply we passed data a string earlier, it's easy. Now I passed an array, I understand. After that I passed an object. Now I'm passing array of objects. I'm passing mixing data to the both components, and if you want to display the data, it's, I think you already know how to display the data here. Whatever the logic you have implemented yesterday, you can copy the same logic now. Is there any difference you observed here? This is the table you are having, right? The table you can copy, but the only thing what you need to do, there's a question here. Data props, data props. The only thing what we need to do, can you guess, Sandy, what I need to do? I am copying the table. This is the table. The nothing here. Props dot user list dot map, and that's all. This is the functional component. Now you can see everything will be printed and there. You can go there. Data is printed. Have you any error? I have some error, and can you read the error? Cannot read the property of undefined map ani some error వస్తుంది. So I don't know where did you pass here? You passed the users list, props dot users list. You have to make the spell mistake. There is a small L, right? I passed it capital. That's the problem. Small L I taken as a attribute name. So props dot map. Now you can check this. Data is coming, right? We don't have any problem. The same data is coming. So if it is a case here, the same, you want to copy this. Now you can check this. If it is a functional component, now you can check this. We done. Now we are in the class component. Now you can write this dot props dot users list dot map. See how the data we are accessing. The only way this dot props, only. The only way this dot props. And both the components were able to see the data. Okay, try to understand what type of data we are sending to the components. So if it is an array, how to do this? If it is an object, how to do this? If it is an array of object, how to do this? And very important thing, if it is the data in functional component, how to access the data in class component, how can we access? The only thing, so if it is a functional component, just we use it and props, right? Just if it is a functional component, So if it is a functional component, just we can use props dot property name and props dot attribute name, attribute attribute name we can use here. If it is a functional component, that is, if it is a class component, now simply we can write this dot props dot attribute name. This is what exactly you need to check it, and this is the attribute name. This attribute name, where it is coming from? Attribute name is coming from app.js. Can you see in the app.js, what are you passing here? User list, my name, and city, and user info, and subjects are the attributes of the data props component. So here also user list, my name are the attributes of the class component. Here our attributes will carry the data from app.js to your functional component and class component. This is how exactly the data will be transferred between the components by using props. Simply always don't expect a very simple values we can transfer between the components, right? Sometimes we may have complex data also to transfer to the components. So like this array of objects. So all this data, where did you define here? I defined the data in the app.js only, because right now for my situation, app.js is a root component. In this app.js, all the components may come here. That's why I'm just going to take like this only. Correct? So now you taken two components, data props one. You can take 100 components. For all the components, we can pass the same data if required, Andy. Right? So this is what exactly the concept of props. What is the major purpose of a prop? Transferring the data between the components or distributing the data between the components. Just I'm transferring you this message in the chart window. Just get the things clear, right? Let me copy this message in the chart window. Copy this, Andy. This is going to be important for you for theoretical knowledge and interview purpose also. Just I want to send you this in the chart window. Copy this information. Okay, na? Right. So in the next session, it's a very important state. What is a state? What is the purpose of the state? That we can see in the next session. Okay. I think before going to state, we need to talk about little bit events also, so that it will becomes easy for us. Okay. Anyhow, we will see that in tomorrow. No need to worry. Before going to this, I will give you a small idea. Then we can proceed for it. If it is a state, how can we access? If it is a props, how can we access? That we seen, right? Very nice.